I already explained of this point during the Atmas, the summit. Actually, the European, especially the big tire customers, they already announced that they are going to produce the tires with the 100% sustainable materials by 2050. I think it's a very ambitious target for them, for everybody. To increase the sustainability of the materials, there's two ways. One thing is something can be produced from the bio-based material. Something can be produced from the recycled materials, the circular basis. There are two ways. But to produce the SBR and DR, we need the styrene monomers or butadienes, exactly the same as the virgin material that we are currently using. But if we produce the biomaterials, then it's very difficult to get the sources of the biomaterials because most of the biomaterials usually grow from the land. And so if we want to harvest some kind of the bio waste or bio something, then we have to grow something from the land where they can grow some material for the food for the people, but they have to switch from the crops to some other oils, so it is not easy. And in case of the waste, the recycling the materials, it is also very difficult because the total consumption for the SBR and the BR in the worldwide is like 10 million tons per year. So, for example, if we want to produce the same volume with the 10,000 billion tons of the SBR and BR from the waste materials, then we need to collect the waste much more than this volume. So it doesn't make sense to the commercially. And another point is the cost. The production cost for the recycled material or bio-waste material is much higher than the conventional products. So nobody can support that cost. So actually, it is not easy to change one time. So we have to approach step by step. In our company, we have some kind of project to invest on the recycled styrene monomers. So that means we are going to collect EPS. Actually, the EPS was usually recycled physically. They are converting it down and produce the polystyrenes. Okay. But at this time, we are collecting the EPS from the market and melt it down and to make it an ingot of the PS. And then a chemical decomposite of the EPS, then it will become the styrene monomers again. Making this plant. Our target is running this plant by 2026. And from these styrene monomers, we are going to produce solution SBR. It's very hard to say because I think the answer is already from the presentation from the Reliance. As you can see the chart of the price development, the margin from the rubber business was very nice in 2010 and 2011. But at that time, a lot of the company invested a lot of money to expand their capacity. So after that, the margin from the SBR and BR was decreased. So almost no margin, or even the margin was the minus for the rubber producers. So recently, nobody want to invest on SBR and BR. In case of our company, actually our company was same situation like the others. For example, the capacity for the emergent SBR was 480,000 tons per year. But as I said before, the SBR was not the marginal business for us. So we have to change the lines to produce another product. So we switched 2 lines from the emergent SBR to MB latex. So the capacity for the emergent SBR became 260 KT per year. So our capacity was reduced by half. The nickel BR is the same. Nickel BR capacity was 250 around just 10 years ago. But now we have to switch the one line to solution SBR and the other line to SBS. So our capacity for the nickel BR is 106 KT. It also almost became the half. So it is just to survive from the market. And one more thing, our company have some business. The big business, the rubber is the biggest, and second is the resin. So our company is very focused on the rubber business. But the companies that they are switching their capacity from rubber to the others, or in that case, they have the many different type of business. In other words, the rubber is not the main business for them. So if rubber is not a profitable business for them, they just sell it to the others and making some margin from the other areas. But our company is focusing on the rubber business. So we are staying in the rubber business and to supply our material to the tire industry. Okay, if you just compare the price at this moment, natural rubber is more cheaper than the synthetic rubber, as you know. It's not happened just 1 month's price. Synthetic rubber was much higher than the natural rubber for a long time. So if they are just, the tire producers are just focusing on the cost, then they already should have changed it from the synthetic rubber to natural rubbers, but they are still using the synthetic rubber in quite a big portions to produce the tires. So in case of the European tire producers, I also have discussed this point with the European tire customers. And another point is that to increase the sustainability, it's better to use more the natural rubber than the synthetic rubbers. Even though we are considering these 2 points, the European tire customers are still using the synthetic rubbers. They cannot decrease the ratio of the synthetic rubber to produce the performance tires. These days, the market is changing so dramatically. So too many the things happening that I never expected. The ownership change that you mentioned is the one part of and as you can see, there are too many rubber producers already announced to close of their plant, and they also sold their ownership to the other companies. In Singapore, the Alanzeo, they built the neodymium plant like just around 7 years ago, and then they closed their factory after 5 years of their operations. It was a very surprise for me. And last month, just Sintos announced that they will close the emergency SPR plant in Czech Republic. And the LG in Korea, they already also announced that they will discontinue emergency SPR plant production the last year. So all this kind of changes are happening, and because of the war between Russia and Ukraine, the EU already announced that they will not use the Russian material anymore, but they have some kind of a grace period, and so this kind of changes that I never expected before. But if I see the supply and demand balance, I think the 1.2 to 1.3 is a good balance. So if I see the rubber balance in the emergent SBR and the BR, the balance is in these ranges. So nobody wants to invest a new capacity expansion on emergent SBR and the BR. And maybe the customers, maybe sometimes they can find some kind of shortage, but they can't find the source, the materials for the years. So I think there is not much changes on the emergent SBR and the BR, but in case of solution SBR, there will be some changes. Because if I check the total demand of solution SBR, globally the demand is around 1.5 million tons per year. In case of emergent SBR is 3.2 or 3.3 billion tons of the tons per year. So that means solution SBR demand is almost half of emergent SBR. But in case of the Indian market, the emergent SBR demand is 350 per year, 350 KT per year. But the solution SBR demand is 35 KT per year, just one 10% of solution SPR demand, emergent SPR demand. So there is a chance to increase in the Indian market.